there's time and time again that's happened, but there has never been something this profound that, I can't in even the slightest way dismiss. A lot of these other things are still fairly easy to dismiss. But there's one thing that I just, and it's usually ends up being something that's a memory, something that actually happened. That's a lot more difficult to dismiss, because one thing is your guardians are telling you, this is what you're meant to do, this is what you're meant to be, and this is possible, and all that, but memories don't lie. Especially memories where that whatever you remembered, you couldn't have fathomed that. You couldn't have thought that up. You couldn't have created that in your own mind. It'd be the very last thing that you would have fathomed. And I talked a little bit about in the past, and I don't have to, say all of it, but I do have to just, there's more to the story that keeps popping up. Basically, this is the key to everything. This is the key that unlocks everything else. And so it is important. Long time ago, several years ago, and I'd forgotten about it, widely forgotten about it until a week or so ago, that something happened to trigger the memory again. But yeah, several years ago, I did a past life regression to, just several of the different past lives, and I had accidentally stumbled upon me being assigned the life I'm living now. You go to the center of the universe to get either reborn or to mend or both. And that's who assigns you your next life. And I remembered being shown what I would face, and actually having to choose between several different lives. But after that, being shown what I would face, and also, being warned of several things. And it's just, being told my overall purpose, and just everything just, initially was very general information. And then I started having these uncontrollable visions after that initial general memory was brought back. I started having several different, I don't have time to talk about them all, but I started having several different, basically these immense flashbacks where when you get the vision, usually it's triggered by something. You're not trying to get a vision, it just happens, and either it's triggered by something or it just happens at random for no apparent reason. And everything blurs, everything where you are around you just goes blank. You don't fully know where you are, what you're doing anymore. And you just see this very clear vision, and you have a small awareness of where you really are. But most of it, it's almost like a dream. When you dream, you kind of forget where you are. So that kind of immense vision. And time passes and you don't realize it. You're just standing there remembering this, and then when the memory ends, you're like, just kind of dumbfounded as to where you really are. Anyway, so I had this vision from the thing that I posted a few days ago. I kept thinking to myself, where have I seen that before? Where have I seen this digital painting before? Basically I could not find, I was looking for any pair of eyes that I could use as a cover photo that was, kind of interesting and magical looking, but not, boring. And I was looking for anything that was, freely merited. Basically, I didn't have to pay to use the image. I just was already given, it's just a free thing that you can download, that you have the rights to, because it's free. So, I was able to use it for the cover photo, and that's the literally the only pair of eyes that weren't just a human pair of eyes that was boring. So I thought, okay, I'll choose that one in the story. But I kept thinking, okay, that I've seen that somewhere. Where have I seen that? And on the third day, I think, is when I finally, just at random, it just happened, just without really much warning. I had that vision. And the first thing in the vision was that painting. And I remember it being told that it was having to be told what it was, because when I was getting assigned this life, I'd not yet lived a life that had cartoons in it. And I thought, is that a painting? What is this? What is this? It looks, first of all, it looks exceptionally ugly, extremely bizarre, and like, who would even think, who would even fathom to do it with those, with those colors, and just everything's off and about it. And I'm just thinking, no one in their right mind would paint something like that, and it doesn't even look real. And I realize now that it's a digital painting, obviously, but back then I'd never seen anything like that before. I think this doesn't even look real, and it's wildly disturbing. Like, who would make it like that? Who in their right mind? I hated it. It was absurdly ugly to me at the time. And it was the rest to follow, basically. Everything kind of went in reverse, and I saw it from the beginning. And I was being told, well, first I asked, I'm afraid that I'll fail. I'm afraid that I'll miss this opportunity. I'm afraid that it will pass me up, and this entire life will be wasted. Can you give me a sign I cannot ignore? Because I was told that my spirit would be broken and it would be shattered, and I'd have to pick up the pieces, and I may not be strong enough to see the truth and actually accept it. I may not trust the truth enough. I may discount it. I may not see it for what it really is, especially, in a world where nowadays people just call you insane if you say magic is real, especially this kind of magic, shape-shifting, So it's like, I had asked for a sign as to, okay, when is it time? When is the time that I'm meant to do this? Can you give me a sign I cannot ignore to remind me? And that was the sign that they gave me. And I was like, does it have to be this ugly? Does it have to look like this? And all I was told was, it has to be this. I said, well, can you at least change? And no, it has to be this. I thought, why is this a joke? Are you trying to mock me? And they said, no, everything that you see has immense meaning. I thought, there's no way this can have any meaning. And it did. Because the very fact that is a painting that my brain would never have ever been able to fathom, that my brain, the very last thing that I hated it so much that it's the very last thing that I didn't even think it was possible for someone to create something like this. That's how much I hated it. And so that'd be the very last thing that my brain would have been able to conjure. And so if this memory was not real, this is the key to everything. If this memory was not real, I wouldn't have been able to fathom that painting. So that painting would have looked a lot more like something I would imagine. That painting was the entire key, because it was so odd. Because it was something that once you see it, you can't unsee. And because it was something that I would never think on my own, I realized this vision is real. There's no way to debunk it. There's no way to dismiss it. A lot of times I realize it's real, and I try to dismiss it anyway, because that's what we're taught to do in this current, society. And I couldn't. There was nothing that I could. And because of that, I knew that the rest of it was real. You know, they said that that would be the first major sign, but there'll be more. There was actually a few other signs that I don't have time to really talk about. But you know, I've been shown physical proof that I've shifted partially several times. I've shown physical proof is real. My spirit guardians and guides have been telling me that this is my path all along. You know, I just, you know, it's easy to sit there and go, am I just hearing what I want to hear, or am I hearing the truth? You know. So yeah, even though they were telling me this the whole time, and even though I had physical evidence, you know, I'm really stubborn-headed, and deep down I know it's real, and that's why I say all the things I do. But it's also deep down, you know, I've been conditioned, unfortunately, in this life, through society, through other things, to dismiss anything like that. So it's kind of like the very last stone that you pull from a tower of highly unstable stones that have stacked highly unstable, and you just pull that one last stone out, and everything just kind of crumbles to the ground, and you realize this is it. This is real. This is what I'm meant to do. Now the task is actually doing it. The task is actually being and living up to what I'm meant to do in this life. Like I said, it's fate. If I don't do this in time, that window of opportunity fades. And even if I can shapeshift, I won't be free. I'll be caged. I'll be in one of those facilities. I'll probably be drugged on top of that. If I could ever escape, it'd be difficult. You know, what's the point? What's the point? You know, I have to not only be able to shapeshift, but I want to be free. And really, I have to be free to fully live up to what I'm meant to do in this life. I'm meant to, you know, be a protector, and I can't protect the forest if I'm not in it. You know, not really. Not the same way, you know. And I'm told that even before I can, you know, fully shapeshift, of course, I have to, of course, what I've been saying all along, mend my chakras. Part of mending your chakras is understanding the strength of your own spirit, you know, and not only picking those shattered pieces up and all the lost piece and shattered pieces of you that may be even in limbo somewhere. You have to retrieve all those pieces of your soul, and you have to bring them back all in one place together to you. But once they're there, you have to mend all those shattered pieces into one whole piece, so that it can fully function again. So I actually did a lot of that recently. I realized that my magic's a lot stronger since I've done that. But I can feel that there's still work to be done on that. It's not complete yet. Once that is complete, then I can focus more of my energy on the actual shifting.